Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital. Now before I begin, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. If you go wandering in the desert outside of Salt Lake City, you can still see the ruts made by covered wagons 150 years ago. But when Gene Moser mentioned this to a journalist, he did not intend it as a historical aside. To Gene, these old tracks are a symbol of the Earth's fragility, of how hard it is to repair the natural landscape once it has been damaged. And it is for this reason that Gene Moser, the Summit County Cowboy Commissioner, decided to take on the real estate industry. But more on that later. For first, we are going to cover the top things you should know about impact fees, one of these concepts in development that has far greater implications than you may think. Number 1. An impact fee is a fee imposed by a local government to pay for the costs of providing public services to a new development. Such fees help to reduce the economic burden on the local jurisdiction that will see population growth as the result of the new development. Number 2. An impact fee is usually a one-time payment that is imposed by a local government on a property developer. Although new public services can be paid for with a special assessment tax, people who already own property in the area would often rather see a developer pay a fee rather than have their tax rate increase. Number 3. Let's take a look at an example. Here is a summary of impact fees for the city of Oakland. First, you can see that the city's boundaries are broken down into 3 different zones, each one with a corresponding fee schedule. And here are tables for residential impact fees for zones 1 and 2. So if you are building a single-family home in Zone 1, you would pay $24,000 per unit to pay for new affordable housing, $4,000 per unit to pay for capital improvements like sewer and water, and $1,000 per unit to pay for transportation costs. Number 4. In order to charge impact fees, the state will typically need to pass legislation that allows local governments to charge the fee. Every state is a little bit different, but states may impose certain requirements before an impact fee can be implemented. For example, the local government may first need to adopt a comprehensive plan or receive voter approval for the impact fees. Number 5. There are many reasons why a jurisdiction would implement impact fees, but one of the biggest ones is that impact fees can help foster new development since they create the enabling infrastructure. Without impact fees, physical growth may be limited because property taxes are not able to finance the needed infrastructure that would open up new outlying areas to development. Number 6, as we briefly mentioned earlier, an alternative to paying for new infrastructure would be a special assessment tax or regular property taxes. However, there are several reasons why impact fees are considered preferable in many areas. First of all, property taxes often fail to cover the full cost of new infrastructure without significant tax raises. Impact fees are also considered more efficient in that they create a direct link between those paying for and those receiving the benefits of new infrastructure. And as our previous pointer showed, impact fees are able to increase the supply of buildable land when the government does not have the revenue to expand infrastructure. Of course, the counter-argument to impact fees is that they increase the cost of new housing units since the cost of the fees are ultimately passed on to new home purchasers. Yet studies show that the effect on housing prices is a little more complicated. This is because while impact fees may increase finished housing prices, they also have been shown to decrease the cost of land. And in some instances, these two effects may cancel each other out. Number 7. There have been a number of challenges to impact fees over the years in different states and jurisdictions, and it is possible on occasion to challenge impact fees on the basis of taking. So to avoid legal challenges, impact fees often need to pass the rational nexus test. The point of this test is to show that the need for the infrastructure funded by the impact fee is directly attributable to the development on which the fees will be assessed. In addition, the required fee must be roughly proportional to the impact caused by the development. But since we're talking about challenges to impact fees, let's return to Gene Moser. Moser was an old rodeo clown who hung up his floppy shoes to sell insurance before running a quixotic and whimsical campaign to win one of the 3 Summit County Commission seats. At the time of Moser's appointment, Utah was the only state that did not have impact fees, and Summit County had become something of the Wild West for development, where nail pounding could be heard night and day in nearly every town. All this construction worried Moser, especially the development in areas that did not have water, sewer, roads, or schools. So, Moser proposed implementing Utah's first impact fees to pay for school and road expansion. Of course, he was immediately attacked by developers, shouting that the proposed fees would only increase the cost of new homes. But this fight isn't actually the point of the story, because you know what's fascinating? All of this took place in 1995. Yet pick up a local newspaper today and you can easily imagine a similar story about developers in towns wrestling over impact fees and how they will affect home prices. These battles around impact fees are really more like a generation-long cultural debate about who must bear the cost, both economic and non-economic, of new development. A debate that you, as a landowner or even just a resident, may want to take part in. But in case you're wondering, today there are no school impact fees in Summit County. Moser retired before the fight was won, but those old pioneer tracks are still etched in the Utah desert. Now, do you have any stories about impact fees? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.